Welcome to Nevermore Stories. Warning: I'm disabled and it's almost a hate crime if you don't enjoy this video. I never saw it coming. One moment, we were the couple that had weathered life's storms together, and the next, my wife drops the bombshell of all bombshells. It all started innocently enough, with her going out for work happy hours. I thought it was great, a way for her to unwind with her coworkers and build connections. Little did I know, it was the prelude to a seismic shift in our marriage. Early on, she broached the idea of an open marriage. At first, I resisted, unable to fathom sharing the sacred bonds we had built. But she insisted it was about spicing things up, adding excitement to our relationship. Reluctantly, I agreed, unaware of the Pandora's box I had just opened. The first inkling of change came with her late-night returns. At first, it was a casual, work is keeping me late, or girls' night out. I believed her, trusted her commitment to her job and friendships. But soon, her hours became erratic, and she'd stumble in well past midnight, her eyes avoiding mine. The truth was evident in the air, the scent of a foreign cologne clinging to her. She thoroughly enjoyed her newfound freedom, flaunting it shamelessly. Dates and intimate encounters with other men became a regular occurrence. The emptiness I felt in her absence was palpable, a gnawing loneliness that echoed in the silent corners of our home. The bed we once shared became a cold, desolate space, a testament to the growing void between us. I tried to be the best husband ever, pouring my energy into making her happy. But it felt like grasping at smoke. The more I gave, the more she craved something else. The warmth and connection we once shared were replaced with a chilling distance. The celebration of our love morphed into a silent battle, and I found myself drowning in the sea of her desires. It was in this dark period that Isabella, our Brazilian neighbor, noticed the cracks in my facade. She approached me with a genuine concern, recognizing the loneliness etched into the lines of my face. Isabella's kindness was a lifeline, and her friendship became a refuge from the storm that had become my marriage. As our connection deepened, Isabella revealed her understanding of my pain, sharing her observations with a compassion that touched my soul. The contrast between her empathy and my wife's indifference was stark. Isabella didn't criticize or belittle. Instead, she appreciated the efforts I had made to salvage our relationship. It wasn't long until this emotional connection built tension, and with many nights alone and being in an open marriage, there was no stopping Isabella and I from acting on this tension. If anything, my wife's antics and passive disrespect stoked the fuel on the fire. My dates with Isabella were a revelation, a reprieve from the suffocating atmosphere at home. Her laughter was a melody that drowned out the cacophony of my failing marriage. We explored the city hand in hand, the tentative but genuine connection blossoming into something beautiful. Isabella made me feel seen, appreciated, and loved in ways I had long forgotten. My wife meanwhile was starting to comment that I wasn't home when she strolled in at 2 a.m. in the morning with whomever was the throwaway guy for the evening. The breaking point with my wife came on the night Isabella and I celebrated 1 month of dating. She was jealous that I was pulling out all the stops for Isabella with a romantic evening, even when she hadn't so much as even interacted with me like I was anything more than a moving dishwasher inside our home. The rage emanating from her was palpable. She couldn't comprehend how, in such a short time, I had found solace and happiness outside our fractured marriage. The jealousy simmered beneath her surface, erupting into a torrent of accusations and resentment. In that moment, as my wife stood in our living room, hurling words like daggers, I realized the extent of the damage. The open marriage experiment had backfired spectacularly, leaving us with scars that might never heal. So I did what my wife had been doing every night. I enjoyed my freedom and walked out the door to my date. And I'd like to be able to tell you I felt guilt somehow. But with Isabella standing by my side, a pillar of support, a pillar of understanding, and let's just be honest here, the little black dress she wore that evening, I found both stability and excitement that I didn't know I needed or could find. That evening on our 1 month of dating, I shared my intentions with Isabella to end the charade with my wife and embrace the new chapter unfolding. Our waiter that evening even assumed we were out celebrating a marriage anniversary, which made us both laugh, and then stunned me when Isabella responded with, "It's so good to be able to call him mine, just mine." After what felt like eternity that evening at the restaurant, we walked hand in hand through the city until we heard live music. We slow danced along the boardwalk, listening to acoustic guitarist who was clearly playing for free, before heading home. I parked my car in Isabella's driveway, with zero concern that it looked like my wife was home and could see where I had parked. Isabella that night made sure to deliver a message to any neighbors within earshot. The road to healing would be long and arduous, but in Isabella's eyes, I found a promise of a future where love wasn't a battleground, but a sanctuary. Update number 1. After ending the open marriage experiment, my now ex-wife faced the stark reality of a fractured connection. The once intoxicating freedom she sought turned bitter as the loneliness crept in. Her attempts to rebuild the life we once shared became increasingly desperate, but the damage done was irreparable. She grappled with the consequences of her choices, a journey of self-discovery that mirrored the wreckage left in the wake of our shattered marriage. Isabella and I, on the other hand, embarked on a journey of healing and growth. Our connection deepened into a love that blossomed in the fertile soil of mutual understanding. The scars of our pasts became the foundation for a new beginning, one built on trust, companionship, and genuine affection. Our dates continued, evolving into shared adventures and cherished moments. Isabella's laughter became a soundtrack to our shared joy, a stark contrast to the echoes of emptiness that lingered from my previous marriage. The warmth of her presence gradually mended the wounds inflicted by the past, and our love story unfolded as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Meanwhile, my ex-wife navigated the uncharted waters of singlehood. The realization that she could no longer take the love we once shared for granted became a bitter pill to swallow. As she embarked on a journey of self-reflection, the weight of her choices became a crucible for personal growth. In the midst of this, Isabella and I celebrated milestones, anniversaries, shared dreams, and the quiet joys that accompany a love built on mutual respect. The Brazilian neighbor who had seen through the cracks in my facade had become the anchor in a life that had once seemed adrift. To my dear ex-wife, Lisa, thank you for the open marriage. While you may have approached your freedom in quantity, I couldn't be happier with the quality of my new life with Isabella.